Magnolia families. Welcome to 5th grade back to school night. 5th grade is departmentalized this year. That means that your student will have an opportunity to transition and prepare themselves for middle school. Each student will have a homeroom teacher as well as a partner teacher for their core subjects. Mrs. Bland and Mr. Ferguson are partners on our team. So that means Mrs. Bland will teach reading, writing, and word work, and Mr. Ferguson will teach math, social studies, and science. As we take a look at the schedule, you will see that your student will have their homeroom teacher when they come in the morning for their class meeting and their first period block. Following their first period block, they will take a break, and then they will switch to go to their partner teacher. After lunch and recess, your student will return back to their partner teacher that they had before lunch. They will take a nice break, and then they have an opportunity to transition again and meet with the special area teachers. At the end of the day, your student, on Mondays and Wednesdays, they will stay with the partner teacher. And on Tuesdays and Thursdays, they will switch and they will go back to their homeroom teacher. At the end of the day, we will have closure meetings so that we can clarify, give any instructions. And one quick reminder, on Fridays, every student should still come to class meeting and do their attendance. Now, on the other hand, myself, Ms. Hatcher, and Mr. Weems are also partners on our team. That means that I will be a teacher for some of your students for math, social studies, and science, and Mr. Weems will be their reading, writing, and word work teacher. And again, our schedules all follow the same pattern. So we all get the opportunity to work with each one of your 5th grade scholars and families. This year in mathematics will be taught by Mr. Ferguson and myself, Ms. Hatcher. In math, we will be doing a review of whole number place value, adding and subtracting whole numbers, and working with our fact families. We will continue on with our learning by multiplying whole numbers and dividing whole numbers, and then we will do a review of adding and subtracting decimals. After that, we will also move on to multiplying and dividing decimals. At the conclusion of the year, we will work on fractions, adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing fractions. I can't wait. Now, where will we find our math assignments and grades? Well, all of your math assignments will be posted in the It's Learning course. You will go to each subject course to find your work. We will post instructional videos and directions for that day's lesson. All of the classwork will also be completed in our Envision Realize website. So they will start in It's Learning every single time. They will complete their classwork in Envision. Where will their grades come from? Well, the grades will be compiled from their daily classwork in their journals and classroom participation. They also will receive grades from their classwork that they complete on Envision Realize, their quick checks, and their assessments. Now, the grade level expectation is that all students will show all their work. I'm looking forward to working with our 5th grade scholars this year.
This year, Mrs. Hatcher and Mr. Ferguson will be teaching social studies and science in 5th grade. In 5th grade, social studies and science will be taught alternatively throughout the school year, meaning that we will start with a unit of social studies, complete that, and move on to a unit of science, and then switch back and forth as you complete each unit. Topics that students will encounter in social studies this year include the Civil War, immigration, the Great Depression, stock market game, and the civil rights movement. Topics that students will encounter in science this year include the solar system and planets, the sun and stars, moon phases, gravity and velocity, and physics and states of matter, as well as environmental stewardship and organisms and ecosystems. All instructional videos and directions for each assignment will be posted directly into the Social Studies or Science It's Learning course. All classwork for Social Studies and Science will be completed on It's Learning, in their student journals, or using HCPS provided applications such as Flipgrid and Discovery Education. Grades for Social Studies and Science will be taken from students' Science or Social Studies journals, classwork posted to It's Learning, assignments on Discovery Ed, as well as projects and presentations that students complete.
So right now we're going to go ahead and take a look at what reading in 5th grade looks like. Our goal as reading teachers this year is we really want students to fall in love with reading. And the way that we do that is by giving our students choice in what they read. So they can pick books that they are interested in and hopefully books that they want to read, while also keeping in mind that they are books on their level. So the more that students read, obviously the better readers that they're going to become. We give the students many opportunities throughout the year to collaborate with other students, to share their ideas and their thinking about the different texts that they've been reading. This year, we are going to continue following the reading workshop model. What that looks like is for about the first 10 or 15 minutes of each lesson, the teacher will present the mini lesson, which is what the students will be working on for that day. The majority of our reading block time is for students to go ahead and independently read and work on those skills. So during that time, a teacher may also pull your student to work together in a conference one-on-one, or they may be pulled to work in a small group with some other students on some skills that we have been working on. And then when the student's done working with the teacher, they would go back to their independent reading and practicing those skills. We also like to end each lesson with the students having a time to share. So sometimes that share may be with a partner, a reading group, or it could be with the whole class, depending on how it looks that day. Some of the units that we're going to do this year focus on fiction, nonfiction, book clubs, fantasy book clubs, and argument and advocacy. The nice thing about the 5th grade curriculum is it gives the students a lot of time to work with within book clubs and communicate and collaborate with other students. The way grading will look in reading this year is students will still be completing their daily reading notebooks, which we'll look at for grades, as well as their reading logs, and then any other different assignments that may be assigned to them through It's Learning. One other important piece of information that we wanted to share with you are our Home Access Center posting dates. Just a reminder that this year for first quarter, students will not be having a parent-teacher conference. They will actually be receiving their first quarter report card grades. So these dates listed here are just the dates that teachers will go ahead and update their grade books online, so that way parents and students can see where they're standing in each subject. So hopefully by the time that report cards come out, there are no surprises. Students can see the grades that they've gotten. They can see if there's anything that's been missed that they maybe need to complete. But for the first quarter, which starts September 8th through November 6th, our first Home Access Center update is September 23rd, followed by October 14th, and then October 30th. Down here we have the information for second quarter, November 9th through January 22nd, and those home access update dates are November 20th, December 11th, and then January 14th of 2021. So please let us know if you have any questions on these dates.
Happy new school year, Magnolia families. I want to take a moment to talk about the writing units of study. Our goal this year, just like any other year, is to increase student writing stamina and for students to understand that powerful writing is truly process-oriented and takes effort. The more students write, the better writers they will become. This year, we will focus on narrative craft, journalism, literary essays, research-based argument essays. We will also look through the lens of history and do research reports. We will culminate the year with fantasy writing. As far as grading goes, students will complete daily entries in the writing notebooks, as well as activities assigned to them through It's Learning. Now, quickly to talk about digital citizenship. It's really about being responsible and respectful to your online community all over the world. These platforms, just name a few of many, to be responsible on. Digital citizenship. Make sure the sites that you visit are safe and appropriate. Make sure you're respectful when communicating online. Make sure you communicate with people you know. Don't talk to strangers. Never reveal your family's home address. Never share a friend's private information or your private information, for that matter. Remember, there are power in the words that you use. Words that can constitute cyberbullying, whether you are playing or not, can be hurtful, they can be cruel, harassing, they can be mean, and the examples are self-explanatory. Just be careful in your choice of words. And thank you for being a responsible digital citizen.
Hi, this is Ms. Steinball. Some tips for success while you're on Microsoft Teams or It's Learning. Make sure when you come into a Teams lesson, you are on mute. If you have a question, use the raise your hand button. If you want to ask a question outside of class, send your teacher an email or a message in It's Learning. It is important to set up a quiet, clean, and consistent learning space within your home. And finally, no private chats with your classmates in It's Learning or in Microsoft Teams. Our school-wide PBIS points goal is 10,000. So make sure you're earning those dojo points by showing rocks behaviors. Sometimes, while you're at home, things will become stressful and you will become frustrated. You can use the HCPS virtual calming room located on the HCPS start page. Once you click on this link, you will be directed to a variety of things such as counting, yoga, and sometimes even bubbles. Who should you contact if you have a question? If you have a math, science, or social studies question, Mr. Ferguson or Ms. Hatcher. A reading or writing question, Ms. Bland or Mr. Weems. If you have a general question, contact your homeroom teacher. If you have a question about your child's IEP, contact Ms. Kress or Ms. Steinball. If there is a problem with your laptop, contact Ms. Wheeler. If you need help finding access to materials or home necessities, contact Ms. Kacher. If you need social emotional behavior or mental health support, contact any of our counselors, including Ms. Calabrese, Ms. Malone, and Ms. Salvi Burke. It is going to be an exciting year, and we cannot wait to work with you. We'll see you soon.